Last night we got some very unexpected news out of Disney. Deadline reported that Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars will no longer release in May 2026 and May 2027, and will instead be moved to December 2026 and December 2027. In today's video, I'm going to discuss Disney's reasoning behind making these changes, and why overall I think this will be a good thing for both of these movies. The first weekend of May is the perfect indicator for the beginning of the summer blockbusters of that year, something that throughout the 2010s Marvel completely dominated at. From 2012 till 2019, every single May release that came out in that first weekend was a Marvel release. But the Avengers kind of became cemented with that May release date, so when it was announced that Doomsday and Secret Wars would also follow that trend and release in May of 2026 and 2027, it wasn't that surprising. But the idea of summer blockbusters has kind of slowed down at this point. They still have big openings, but they're not nearly as big as they were in the 2010s. And a good reflection of that comes with looking at the success of Thunderbolts. It wasn't projected to have a massive Avengers level opening, but if we look at a timeline of every single May release following 2021, a pretty significant downward trend becomes very clear. Movie theaters are in a really rough place right now. It's not likely we're going to have another billion-dollar success in the month of May. But a month that was pretty much always proven to be successful at the box office is the month of December, and it's proven to be especially successful for Disney. That Christmas weekend is a guaranteed moneymaker, and there's enough diversity between the movies that release at that time that typically pretty much everything that's released do pretty well. And the last big Marvel hit that we've had was Spider-Man No Way Home, which released during that time frame. During December, I think there's just more of a chance that you get people who are willing to go back to see a movie again and again with different groups of people. And personally for me, I live in Buffalo, so it gets really cold here, it's snowy, it's gross outside, nobody wants to do anything. But if anybody was gonna go see a movie, it would be during that time of the year. And putting an Avengers movie that is the return of Robert Downey Jr., the first time we're going to see the Fantastic Four, X-Men, and Avengers on screen together, will be the big December draw. But let's talk about the competition that they're possibly going to be facing in that month. On the same day as Doomsday is releasing, it will be going up against another Disney movie, the 6th Ice Age movie. I don't think they have much to worry about there. These movies tend to not do super well. I don't think the nostalgia is really there for something like it would be for Shrek 5, which comes out the week after. But releasing an animated movie aimed at kids alongside a bigger blockbuster is pretty typical. What Disney needs to look out for is Jumanji 4, which comes out the week before. The previous one came out alongside The Rise of Skywalker and definitely didn't have as big of a draw, but those movies do tend to do very well and have a large, likable cast. And of course, releasing on the exact same day is Dune Messiah. Now, this is going to be Doomsday's largest competition. It's up against the exact same audience, it's a competing studio, it even shares some of the same cast members as Doomsday. But I don't know if WB is gonna wanna risk putting up a property like Dune against Avengers. I know I'm gonna get comments that Dune 2 had a big release and that there are probably more people who look at the Dune franchise favorably than Marvel right now, but Dune does not have the same draw as the Avengers do. Dune is going to get a very specific group of people into the theater. Avengers movies typically cater to a much larger audience, so I wouldn't be surprised if WB got nervous and moved that Dune Messiah release date. Honestly, I don't think it would be that bad of an idea if they decided to move to something like February of 2027. Dune Part 2 had an early March release date and it made close to $1 billion. Currently, February is uncontested if you're looking at the blockbusters, and it's typically a pretty proven month to release a movie like this. But let's talk about the ultimate reason that Marvel probably delayed Avengers Doomsday. Filming had only just begun, and one thing some Marvel Studios movies have received significant criticism regarding are the effects being rushed, leading to poor working conditions and having to crunch for a lot of these VFX artists for very, very low pay. Now, something that happened about a week ago was the ratification of union contracts for visual effects workers who work on Marvel and Disney projects. This has been an ongoing battle that these industry workers have had to struggle with for a couple of years now. So it's really good to see a general win for the entire industry. Now, there is still a lot of room for improvement, but I'm sure this helped contribute to Disney realizing that May 2026 release date for Doomsday was just not realistic. And overall, they could make a lot more money if they had a December release date. But that's regarding the financials, the potential for Doomsday to be a better movie in the end. What does this mean for the MCU overall? Now, Doomsday and Secret Wars getting pushed back did mean a couple release slots did come off the Marvel release schedule. There were unknown movies scheduled for February 2026, November 2026, and November 2027. Those three movies are completely removed from the schedule. It seems like Disney's focus right now is just finishing the multiverse saga and trying to get people in the theaters to see Doomsday and Secret Wars. We do still have Spider-Man Brand New Day, and it's now releasing before Avengers Doomsday, making my optimism that this is just going to be so far removed from a multiverse movie so much higher. And now hopefully they start production on Spider-Man Brand New Day soon, so we don't have to worry about the same exact thing. But Spider-Man movies are typically smaller stakes than Avengers and won't have as many visual effects in every single shot. Overall, while I am sad that this delay means we'll have to wait a little bit longer to get Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, I think it was the right choice to make overall. When it came to Infinity War and Endgame, those movies had a much better schedule in terms of filming and release. I'm also glad that they're focusing on streamlining the story by just saying, okay, the next movies are going to be Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, Avengers, and then another Avengers movie to wrap up this saga. Then going forward, for whatever the next saga they're going to make, they really need to streamline how they're handling things. It seems like Disney is learning the right lessons from all of this. They can't just rely on their audience to follow the Marvel name wherever it may show up. But I think that's going to do it for this topic. I really want to know what you think about this down in the comments below, so please let me know all of your thoughts. I want to wrap up this video by looking at a mailbag question related to Avengers Doomsday. This one comes courtesy of Jurassic Goji Fan 1993, and they ask, is there any chance of Hugh Jackman reprising his role in Doomsday? Thank you so much for your question, and yeah, I feel like he's gotta show up. It would be so odd if all of the other X-Men showed up in Doomsday and we got the return of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine in Deadpool and Wolverine last year and he's just completely absent for this crossover. I feel like there's a few cast members we still don't know about yet. I don't think there's a huge list like some people are implying, but I'm sure there are a few select surprise characters that will be turning up in Doomsday. Thank you so much for your question though, and if you would like to leave your own mailbag question for us to answer in a future video, leave it down in the comments below with the hashtag mailbag. Reminder, if you don't leave the hashtag mailbag, I won't be able to find your question. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.